My name is Rhapsody. Welcome back to the Heartbreaker Chronicles here in Slay the Spire. All right, let's get that defect win, right? How about we build an orb deck, we find a capacitor early, we find a consume early. After the first boss, we find an inserter, and then we kind of just build from there. Seems good to me, right? Obtain a random rare relic for losing all my... Oh, damn it. It's a zero cost build apparently now. Unceasing top, making that a little bit more a viable idea. The fact that this character also has 2 cards in their base deck that upgrade to become zero cost makes that also more a viable idea. Speaking of cards that upgrade to become zero cost though, what we're really incentivized to do here is hit as many upgrades as possible. And also an early shop, so I'm thinking probably this path to start out with. Get a rest, get a rest, get a rest. And I guess the general idea is so that I can upgrade 3 cards on the first floor. Obviously, Zap and Dual Cast being 1 and 2. I'll elect to take 1 damage here, actually. Just because if we don't get dual cast anytime soon, we could have ended up taking a hell of a lot more. Right, we'll be fine now. We got him. Alright. Recursion can become zero cost, but we might want Ball Lightning literally just to be an offensive powerhouse while we do all of the other things that we're trying to do here. Shame. I was really hoping for a double hit on the frontliner. Would a double hit on the backliner have been enough? 13? No, it wouldn't have. Okay. We got this. Don't worry. Oh. Of renewed vigor. We will best this challenge. Sure, it might take a couple more trillion years, but look. It'll be bested. FTL, short, zero cost card, helps us get a little bit of the damage out there as well. All for one obviously would be great for this deck. All right, we gave up all of our gold. Okay, yeah, I definitely shouldn't have visited there. I just should have gone to the fight instead. That's my bad. Huh, couldn't have known I was going to be able to remove a card in the next space, but okay. It's fine, removing a non-zero cost card is really good. Something important to think about. How does this deck deal with the heart? Double energy, allowing us to get a ridiculous amount of value out, is how this deck would have even a possibility of dealing with the corrupt heart at the end. Okay. Sure. Take a reprogram. Usually it's card negativity is the reason that you don't take it, but if it's going to filter out a bunch of the 1-cost cards I was about to draw into, then it has some value for me. Ice Cream energy is now conserved between turns. Well, damn. Double energy just became the best card that I could draft. I'll go for an elite. Cool. Let's just throw some damage out there. Hell yes. It's exactly the card that I didn't want to end up with, but there was a 50-50 at that point if I'd been tracking my deck, so fair point. Fair point, well made, game. Okay. We'll start with the dual cast. Yep. Precisely why. Yeah, no, I just leave all that there. The dazed in our deck are obviously pretty problematic here. That's okay though. We got through the fight. Been so much better against literally any of the other characters. There's double energy, but Claw is the ramping damage that this deck is going to require to actually push through bosses. I think we have to take Claw. As much as I was just talking about double energy. Let's probably remove a strike. Tend as 0 to 0 cost as I can get. Ossus Floor is... that's going to be a problem for us. Actually, we'll do that. Okay. Then I get my Zap, and then I get the Ancestor's Bane, allow that to burn out. Easy. There is a problem with Reinforced Body here. The problem is that while it can be played at 0 cost to cycle through it, if you have any energy left, it will expend all of that. So if you draw into any 1-cost card directly after, that's just not going to work for you. Take an auto shield so that I don't have to deal with that. I would love to upgrade 2 cards there. Just, oh, please. I'd love to. Don't have the opportunity, though. Not going to play 3 defenses on a turn that doesn't need them at all, frankly. Probably burn out all those. Is there any way that I just over-defend this turn? Possibly. Alright, so if I use this attack, we're splitting, right? Okay. Guess I'm fine with that. Shouldn't have left those defense in the deck then. That's a severe my bad right there. Okay. Nice. Pretty good draw, actually. Very nice, actually. All right. Pretty pleased with it. This turn, what would I drop from my upcoming hands? Probably everything non-aggressive, frankly. Everything with a cost, basically. Oh no, I'm not even going to be able to play out this entire hand, so it doesn't matter. No, it does. We're going to cycle. Just because of how important it is, we deal as much damage as we possibly can to the Acid Slime here. Right. So that it doesn't split into 2 giant Acid Slimes that I then have to deal with. Okay, we're really close to the split here, so we should be fine. TL, Zap, Ball Lightning, and... like, I could just end 2 turns in a row and we'll be fine here. Cool. Machine learning? Probably not necessary with the way that we're building this deck. Reboot? Okay, like, it could help me get away from a card that I otherwise like not to use. Thunderstrike doesn't make any sense here. Removing 2 cards or putting extra energy in the deck are both really good things to do. Extra energy allows us to cycle through more cards. Now, it's worth noting that Ascender's Bane is always going to be 1 stop. So, at least 1 time when we're shuffling through our deck, we are going to have to deal with the Ascender's Bane just stopping our cycle. So we also do need some extra defensive cards in the deck as well. Which is why, you know, just like straight up removing 2 strikes or 2 defense or something like that here is probably not a great idea. I'm gonna take the Fusion Hammer. I don't know how this is gonna work out. I'm trying it. I was given the Unceasing Top at the very start of this. I've just decided to lean in, frankly. And if it doesn't work out, Cool. I had fun with the Unceasing Top. It ain't that dire. Love saving up a ridiculous amount of energy and then just dunking on fools. Awesome. That's the consume I wanted before, but don't want anymore because that's not this build. I'm also not going to take the self-repair. It's another 1-cost card. Ooh, card removal. All right, that will be a removal of a strike here, I believe. All right. Pretty much exactly where Reboot is at its most valuable there. Unfortunate that we get auto shields after we already played our other cards, but it happens. I'm not going to play dual cast there. I'd rather keep up the Lightning Orb. I'm feeling like we're probably going to be in the fight for long enough for that to be an important thing to do. Dual cast here, though. All right. So we already have, we already have the Ascender's Bane out of the deck. We should be fine now. Definitely trash that card. Don't want it. All right, Claw. And the dual cast. Dual cast. There we go. Another Claw. Thank you. With every Claw that we get in this deck, we are way, way better off. It is ridiculous how important that's going to be to us in the long run. Sure, I could get some more Claws. Great. Set up my next hand, have some Claws as well. Ugh, beautiful. So these are the types of turns that I believe ultimately will probably kill me. Let's be real. Getting a bunch of cards that don't have immediate or defensive impact, as well as the Ascender's Bane preventing me from drawing through them. I'll hold off here. And we should now pretty much just be able to combo off until the end. Give me my Claws, damn it. Give me the Claws. The Claw. Okay, we already do have lethal. Beautiful. How about a no on those? Those all have costs associated with them. Easy. Definitely just going as aggressive as we possibly can on this turn. Very important to try and take out at least one cultist as early as I possibly can as well. Okay, cool. We got through to the Ascender's Bane. That's really nice. We've also saved an extra energy for next turn. Oh, that was perfect. That was really good. So we got to get through all of our Claws and get our largest defense card and then just reshuffle. I'm not going to play the defend here, especially because if I draw a defend directly thereafter, I just wasted energy. Okay. Come on, give me those Claws. Next Claw, please. Next Claw, please. Ah, dang it. Now, obviously, there's one big problem with this deck currently. Right? I have to imagine it has not escaped any of you. Put any wound, any curse, any daze, anything like that into the deck, and we die. Not great, I'll admit. wee bit of a problem, I'm also willing to admit. I'd still kind of just like to have fun doing it, though. Maybe that's just me, but I find it still super enjoyable to do. Should play the defend, especially because if I get a daze... Give me the daze, damn it! There we go. Okay, so I burned one of the negatives out of my deck already. Whew, yikes. There goes two, and we still have one left. Really unfortunate to be short on 1 damage. Couldn't have poisoned the enemy there, by the way. Just in case you were wondering. Artifacting. Couldn't have done it. Skim. Skim is going to be a way to help counter the negative of drawing into a Ascender's Vein or something like that. Also comes pre-upgraded. Yup, that definitely hurt. I do want to get my claws first. Yeah, before we reshuffle the whole deck. I know, weird, right? We're probably dead here, to be honest. But that's okay. Yeah, not getting the auto shields earlier there. It's kind of a bit of a death knell for us. We did get really lucky in how we've drawn at the very end here. It's theoretically possible we now just get... Okay, cool. Lethal. That's what I was going to say there. It's theoretically possible that we now just get lethal. Obviously, I'm going to hop over and rest, where otherwise I would have gone to that shop there. Gold-plated cable, your rightmost orb triggers his passive an additional time. Yeah, sure, why not? So there's 2 elites on this floor that can introduce wounds to our deck. As a direct result, each of those are big problems. Being hexed ain't great here either. I'll elect to play none of those, just so that the hex doesn't get me yet. And now I have to worry about the hex. Come on, don't draw dazed. Damn it, that's as bad, if not worse. Okay. Come on. I mean, we got pretty damn close there to lethal. Attack potion as well as beam cell pre-upgraded. Thank you. Very good. Gonna help us with a ridiculous amount of damage here. Only beam cell dual cast. Then it really doesn't matter. We just reboot first. Program to nice. Drop the Ascender's Bane, so I don't have to worry about that for another shuffle through. What attack am I going to pick up here? Sunder is great. Oh, yes. Get a bunch of energy back? Sure. Seems like the kind of thing I'd be interested in. All right. Still got to kill the Taskmaster now as a priority, because the Taskmaster is the one that's going to add all of the wounds to our deck. But we're not going to shuffle through the deck to get to those wounds before the Taskmaster is dead here, so... Perfect. Darkstone Periapt, whenever you obtain a curse, increase your max HP by 6. Yeah, I'll take a boot sequence. Just defense on the first turn. More than happy to have it. I'm gonna rest here, probably recall in the next one. Oh gosh. Kunai, every time we play 3 attacks in a single turn, gain 1 dex. That is really good for us. Trip would be okay if it weren't for the fact that we have Beam Cell as well. And yes, 0 cost cards can bloat your deck at this point, because remember, if you ever draw a status or a wound or a curse, status, wound, curse, if you ever draw an unplayable card, all of the other cards in your hand have to be good. So if I draw Ascender's Bane and have Beam Cell and Leap, sorry, Beam Cell and Trip, and just a bunch of other 0 cost cards in hand, that's not helpful. You don't just draft every 0 cost card that you can find in a 0 cost deck. Although, God, this deck would be so much better with an awful one, just so that I could replay them all in the same turn. Oh, it'd be so good. I want to get the Kunai. We'll trigger it really often, and it might actually give us the ability to, you know, kind of escape the damage curve. Reboot here. 2 more attacks. Hell yes. And we burn the Ascender's Bane. That is a really successful opening turn right there. Rest of the deck's actually okay. We'll be fine. Skim finds us another claw. I'd really rather not play the boot sequence when I could just save it for later. It can be so much better. Obviously, Go for the Ice here should be thrown at the back line. I want all of those in the next hand. Alright, Entropic Brew. Oh, great. Thanks for that, Entropic Brew. Alright, Entropic Brew. It's not really going to provide what we want here. Alright, get as much defense as I possibly can. I desperately want to save the Beam Cell for the backline here, so nice. That'll allow us to do it. Fine, I'll play that just so that I can get the next claw out, reshuffle the deck. I'm not going to play that one. I want to save the extra energy for this turn because this is the turn that we need, like, ultimate defense on. Okay. We can yell, just throw out as much damage as we can possibly get here. Oh, it's good fun. May not win, but again, it's not the destination, but the journey that matters. Oh, hell yes. Obviously, we leave all of those in there. Could scarcely be better. All right. I mean, that's a collector, and we took 6 damage. With a lot of the other cards offered on this run so far, I don't know if we could have done that with other builds. As much as I do like extra energy, defense is also really important. We have 2 lightning generation, 1 lightning evoke. We start with the lightning, but if we use the frost core, sorry, the frozen core, we can get some reasonable defense every single turn, which is nice. The extra energy from Busted Crown would primarily be so that by the time that I get to my Orph one, I have a bunch of 0 costs. Or rather, I still have the energy to play it. I'm gonna take it. Astrolabe could have transformed me into a Meteor Strike and like immediately killed the build. So, bit too rough to take that one though. sure. There's the Ascender's Bane. Making sure to throw out those attacks first. Alright, reboot. Good. So despite the fact that we have burns in our deck now, we've already won. The way that we win is to outpace the effects in our deck. 99 gold, 2 normality. The problem is I can remove 1 normality in the next space. Obviously, I also get 12 max HP, which is nice. But I remove 1 normality in the next space and then die. To the second normality still left in the deck. Upgrade all cards you can no longer heal is pretty difficult. It has to be the rare relic. As much as I really like the idea of being able to justify anything else, I don't think I could have. Whee! Yes, give me all of the defense. Offense is defense-ish. Alright, here we go. Come on, reboot back into the claws. Hell yes. We're now defended. Alright. I'll leave that as is. Leaves me with extra energy on this turn. Alright, as soon as we get to the... yeah, there we go. All for One brings back the claws, and the claws get the kill. Tori, whenever you receive 5 or less unblocked attack damage, reduce it to 1. Don't care about that. I don't super care about the Dex potion. I should, but I don't yet. I'm going to drop the weak potion for an energy potion. Hop over to this shop. It's just another FTL. I don't know about that. It's probably card removal. Save the rest of my money for some other shop later on. Oh, this is gonna be rough. Whoa, this is bad. You might wonder why I'm specifically training up my claws. It's because I need big hits to be able to take out these spikers without being terrifyingly sad constantly. So upgrading those claws to be the large hits that I need them to be seems a good way to get that done. They don't always attack, which does open up the possibility of just... obviously should have been the auto shields first there. Which does open up the possibility of just kind of waiting them out. Cool. Never mind. Worked out in the end. Streamline, no thank you. It'd take too long to get the streamline online. In that time, it's just chunking up my draw and not really contributing. Okay. Auto shields is a little bit of a problem because unless it's in the initial hand, it's just really difficult to play. So auto shields is like a worst case scenario savior card. You all for one? And just reboot for a totally new deck. Let's go. look at all those 0 costs. Just lovely, isn't it? This is why I think this... Wow, I forgot that we were going to draw another card. This is why I think this deck has a chance. Specifically because of the kunai. I don't think it's got like a really good chance. I think it's almost certainly dead. But I'm saying there's a chance. Because that's a hell of a lot of defense to get right there. There's going to be a better chance if we can pick up a couple of steam barriers and a couple more claws. Obviously, the Busted Crown is negatively interacting with the ability to do that. Wait, no. Oh, obviously. Let's just get the claws. How about that? And get me the awful one. Come on, here we go. Awful one right now. Damn it. I wouldn't have been able to draw and play the awful one there, so whatever. Doesn't really matter to me, I guess. I'll use the reprogram here to discard everything, because then the awful one can bring back the cards that I discarded. Neat little interaction there. And now I can kind of just tap one and then target the transient. I'm basically doing this rate to see if we can kill it. I wouldn't be entirely surprised. Never mind, I would be. Especially considering how that's gone now. Not too far off, though. Don't want any of those. Rest, don't really have too much of a choice in that one. Oh, Giant Head is going to be a hilarious fight for us. Okay, we play all the defensive cards first. Reboot. Off one. Nice. Come on. Sure. I'm looking to try and get to the Ascender's Bane, if at all possible here, because then I don't have to deal with it chunking up my next stand. Oh god, it was literally the next card. Oh, that sucks for us. Thankfully, we have Skim in this hand, so we can actually redeem this hand somewhat. Smallest to largest. Definitely play both of the defense first here, because we know we're going to be playing both of them, so we can safely do that at the start here. Okay. Still don't want to spend the extra energy, because I think it might interfere with my ability to get to and then play the awful one. Come on, give me awful one now. Damn it. I want the neutral FTL draw, because I'm looking for as many zero-cost cards as I can get before I play the awful one, so I play the FTL before the Skim here. Okay. Thankfully, we're still ridiculously defended. Hell yes. It's not entirely impossible to... Never mind. Don't even need to finish the sentence. Omamori. Negate the next two curses you obtain, as well as... Nope. Transformer card. Too easy can remove my life. Too easy can remove my life. Obviously, I have to take the Sapphire Key here, otherwise I don't have the even possibility of going up against the heart. Okay. Very quick Ascender's Bane there, and the enemy has not yet started putting the worst offenders in my deck. Worst offenders here, I guess, being the polite way I've decided to discuss. Oh, gosh. Do you want to bring them back? No, it doesn't really matter, does it? the way I've elected to, I guess, euphemize burns being put in a hard deck. Obviously not a particular fan myself. Okay. Just give me all of the damage, because these are the only turns that I really get to do the damage. Hopefully I get, yeah, all for one. Good. I'm happy to use the energy potion here. We need the damage to come out on these turns where it's actually available. And now we have lethal as a result. Great. Whetstone, upon pickup, upgrade to random attacks. We'll make sure that there's no attack we want first. There isn't. All right. I mean, this deck is going a lot better than I think most people would have suspected. Even myself, admittedly. Come on, and reboot me a good hand. Alright, I'll keep going here. Should I? Yeah, there's still a zap in my deck. Well, didn't get to it. That's okay, though. As long as the enemies don't just decide to attack for a ridiculous amount constantly, we should be okay. Not exactly the result I was looking for there, but yeah, it looks like we're fine in 2 turns' time. Or we're fine now. Lovely. Essence of Steel, as well as a card that could instantly destroy my entire build. Obviously, Dono and Decker are going to be a problem for us. Ah. Oh well. We gave it a go. Dono and Decker, and I guess the wounds that can be put into your deck. Wounds? No, voids that can be put into your deck in the second phase of the Awakened One fight are probably the 2 most potent things to us. Obviously, turns like this are excellent and give us an actual real chance here. And hey, we could just draw well in the Donu Decker fight. Because Donu Decker is going to be the worst... Oh, nice. Another awful one there. Because Donu and Decker is definitely going to be the worst combat that we can have, we will use the Dex Potion in that combat. Actually kind of fine with drawing all of those. Yep, I'll pass that one. Come on in. There's the awful one. Hell yes. Oh, even with it, a reprogram that allows me to put a bunch of 0 costs into my discard pile so I can just pull them back. Oh, give me a claw after this enemy. Really? Ugh. Did we have to get another transient here? I don't want to spend all of my energy in order to do nothing there. Speaking of, though, this is exactly the kind of turn that we have a problem with. Thankfully, you only take 16 damage for it, and we're going to be resting the next phase as well. Alright. I mean, in order to keep ahead here, I should still be ramping up my my dex as well as my claws. Just so that when we do get to the later turns against the transient, we're still fine there. Hey, I actually get to skip over the boot sequence. Nice. Keep that one for later. One of the problems is the defends are the hardest part of our deck to play, but without them, we will just die in the early turns especially, so they're a necessary evil. Guess would be an overly generous way to describe them. On and... All for one. All for one, me. There we go. Claw? Damn. I mean, especially with the ice cream, I had to try this, right? I just had to. It's not a great ordering for those cards to appear in, but okay. Pull back. 2 cards. Nice. And then just immediately play out all of the rest. I mean, what? We've got one more turn to deal 300 damage? With all of these upgraded claws? I don't think that's entirely impossible. Just need to get a little bit lucky and get both my claws this shuffle before we get the awful... Never mind. As it turns out, that's not going to be the case. Oh well. Barely even worth winning at this, right? Second Essence of Steel. I can't do that. Rest our way back up to full. Dex Potion. Oh! Hollow Ascender's Pain in the first hand. We need to have better opening turns than that. We need more attacks. We need... Oh, please get me another attack. Thank you. We need more triggers of Kunai especially. Cool. Another trigger of Kunai before that was over. Nice. 2 days now in the discard pile, as well as we know that there's the Ascender's Bane, is going to be a problem. Obviously not great. Owie. Why did this have to be the first? So why am I not trying to weaken Deca here? I don't think we would have weakened Deca, right? 3 artifacts is a problem. I guess I'm effectively just working on Donu. Maybe I should be throwing the Go for the Eyes on Deca just because it's very little that I'm losing in terms of damage, I guess. Fair enough. Obviously should have played the Claw first there. Sorry, I somehow forgot that I was on path for a Kunai. Whoa, okay, I got the daze, but I also drew another card there? Weird. Obviously, Medical Kit would be the best thing that we could get with this deck, but just weren't there. Alright, we are now getting some serious defense. I hesitate to say it's all over. Obviously, I don't think we're in a good position, but... think worse things have been overcome. It's very important that I get to that Dazed to burn it out of my deck. How many do I have left in there? I've got 2 Dazed left in there. It's very likely our next hand draws us nothing we can play. Never mind. Okay. We'll actually survive this turn and burn both of the Dazed. Perfect. Excellent. Very, very important there. So 2 more Dazed are now going into my discard pile, but my next 10 cards are Daze free. Yeah, no, we're going to have this one. And remember, this is the harder of the 3 fights, in my opinion, I believe. Can't guarantee that. Oh, right. All right. I was thinking, yeah, no, because it puts curses in our deck. I forgot that Time Eater is Time Eater and Time Eater eats time. Oh, this is going to be awful. Well, we got a point of decks that round at least. Oh, you put slimes in our deck now? At the very least, it's only a slime, but also, damn. You cruel. I'm gonna need like 2 defense. No. Needed 1 more defense card there in order to really have a good turn. I have to attack there, by the way. Otherwise, I just lose the turn after. Don't really want to lose either of those. Very much hoping that I get another playable card as my next one, so nice. Now, don't attack. Why are you attacking every turn? It's always just attack, attack, attack with you. That's a really bad draw on our part. It's possible that we're dead. Yeah. All we needed to do was draw another defend before we drew the all-for one, after we had the auto shields defend us for nothing because it was at the wrong time of turn. We can't deal with this. We're dead. Ugh. I actually don't think we were too far from even being able to win that fight. I think we would we have died on the first fight if I didn't use the Dex potion? So obviously it's a giant oversight on my part to have not noticed that the Time Eater would be a problem for us. But for what it's worth, I'm going to make a contentious argument here. I don't think the Time Eater was as bad for us as Dono and Deca because of the Dazed slowing up our deck. Now, because of that, like the Dono and Deca had the ability to limit our turns to only 4 cards, whereas the Time Eater had the ability to limit our turns to only 12. I'd rather 12 than 4, to be honest. All of our turns limited to 12 rather than some of our turns limited to 4. Yeah, okay, it's apples and oranges, but I think that the Time Eater was actually going to be relatively like easier for us. I think if the Time Eater had laid off a couple of turns there and actually not attacked literally every turn, which is maddening, we would have been in a much better position. I think obviously if we drew the defend there before the awful one, or the defend before the what was the shield? The auto shields? We would have been in a better position. Another thing that would have put us in a much better position is picking up a steam barrier at literally any point through the course of that run. That would have given me a 0-cost defense. We had 1 0-cost defense that we did pass up at a point, but I believe it was out of our price range. It was a colorless card in a shop. I'm actually pretty pleased with how far that went, especially considering, you know, we just got the Unceasing Top and went, all right, we'll probably lose, but let's go with it. We definitely would have lost to the heart, for what it's worth. The wounds in our deck would have completely crippled us. We had a 20-card deck. The only possibility we had to win, and you can see that I was raring up for this, is next floor, the shop sells medical kit. It's part of why we still have a lot of money left over. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. I still enjoyed that run. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.